Hey everyone, it's Jace. Welcome to my guide for Materia Guardian Ruin EX2. I gotta be honest, I find this fight a little bit underwhelming. When I think of a crossover fight, I think of something really challenging like the Black Welts, and this just... it's fine. It's not too bad. I'll walk you through it. If you're having some trouble with it, I promise you can get this fight down, and I'll explain the mechanics as we go along. But to start off, we can go over my party. So I'm bringing Matt as a main DPS. He's going to be doing the most damage, but he's also going to be debuffing the boss's physical attack, which I think is way more important than bringing physical defense. I only mention that because the notice said you should bring physical defense up for the whole party. I don't think that's necessary. Anyway, Killer Attire for Matt's outfit, Killer Hornet and OB6 in the main hand, Slick Beetle at OB1 in the offhand. For the summon, we're bringing Hellfire, and for Materia, this Quaker Blow is the stat stick. Main source of damage is going to be this 4-star Fire Blow, and then we have an X Ruin as a stat stick, but also we need to break X Sigil. For sub weapons, yeah, your eyes are not deceiving you. In order to make this even, just to make sure I don't blow up the fight, because it's really not that hard, I'm just bringing one sub weapon on Matt, and that is OB6 Mad Minute. Here are Matt's R abilities, if you want to see them. Still a lot of boost physical ability potency. It just kind of is what it is. But yeah, that's Matt. We're bringing Red 13 as a healer. I have his Canyon Duds, not his newest outfit, haven't gotten that yet. Platinum Collar in the main hand at OB5, AoE healing, regen specifically. Junk Collar in his offhand, this is going to help with debuffing magic attack. Sledfang at level 10 for his limit break. And for Materia, we have a healing Exuna for poison, which you absolutely want to bring. The boss will poison the entire party all at once, so you want something for that. I have an X Ruin Blow here for HP and healing, but also for X Sigil. And then we have a Fire Breach that I'll be using alongside the third character that I'm bringing, which is Yuffie. And I'll go over that in a moment. Sub weapons, just 2 this time, again to handicap myself a little bit. 4-point Shuriken for the debuff extension and the HP. And then we have Glenn's Hardcore Squad. It's just the best healing weapon that I have, so I have that. That's it for sub weapons. Here are Red 13's R abilities. Last but not least, we have Yuffie, who, yep, only one sub weapon, and it's the Buster Sword at OB5. So here's that if you want to see it. Yuffie is in her Winter Moogle outfit. This is the outfit that she released with on her first banner. Arctic Star at OB2 in the main hand. In the offhand, Boomerang. This is going to be lowering the boss's fire resistance, and alongside Red 13's Fire Breach, we'll be throwing the Fire Breach first, following it up with the Boomerang ability here to leave the boss at high tier fire resistance down. For Limit Break, yes, literally Bloodfest level 1. You're not saying this wrong. I do not respect this fight at all, and I needed to use it so that I could finish unlocking Clear Tranquil. So yeah, I literally did that during this fight. For Materia, X Materia for sigils, but also for stats. 4-star Fire Blow is going to be her main source of damage. And then we have a D-Brave. She's going to be helping out with reducing the boss's physical attack. Here are the bosses, or not the bosses. Here are Yuffie's R abilities if you want to see them. So Matt is going to be our primary DPS, and he's going to be reducing the boss's physical attack. Yuffie is going to be our support. She's going to be buffing hers and Matt's physical attack and reducing the boss's fire resistance, and also reducing physical attack with the Materia that she's bringing. And then Red 13 is going to be our healer / debuffer. He's going to be reducing physical and magical attack with Sledfang, but particularly magic attack with the Junk Collar, and is going to be removing poison, reducing fire resistance alongside Yuffie, and yeah, that's it. So that's the party. Let's get into the fight. Alright, so the difference between the Ruin and the non-Ruin version of the fight is that the Materia Guardian is going to open up with Hellish Charge, boosting his physical attack and starting up an AoE physical attack on your party. So you want to use D-Brave or any other physical attack debuffs you have to lower his attack. For me, I threw 2 D-Braves from Yuffie and 1 X-Shot from Matt in order to bring the boss to 1 tier of physical attack down. Otherwise, the ability doesn't really hit all that hard. It's nothing to worry about. You can just heal up right afterwards, and you are good to go. My team, I decided to bring the boss's physical attack to 3 tiers down, and I decided to finish lowering the boss's fire resistance. I'm going to buff Matt and Yuffie's physical attack, and we're just going to smack the boss for the most part. Really, during this run, I just kind of reacted to the boss's abilities as they came. Salientian whatever slime is the AoE poison on your party, so just swap one over to your healer and remove it one at a time. One tip that I recommend with your healer is to just let them be. Usually, if a character has defensive support abilities or healing abilities, it'll pull a little bit more ATB than characters that only have DPS abilities. So if you do that, there's a high chance that you have ATB ready to remove poison. I decided to use Red 13's Limit Break there to interrupt Mucus Jet, which is just a single target magic attack that doesn't hit all that hard. Next up is the stream phase, Take Aim. The boss is going to be hitting your party during the stream phase. I recommend just breaking it as soon as you can. It's not a big deal. Don't let it go off. Otherwise, Dual Tail Lash hits pretty hard, actually. It's a physical attack on one target. You can see he's locked onto Yuffie there. We're able to get through that stream phase pretty easily. Not much issue at all. So I'm just going to go back to making sure the boss is nice and debuffed, and then we're just going to smack it around a little bit and make it take a lot of damage. Now, I hope you enjoy this level 1 Bloodfest in all of its glory, dealing less damage than the Fire Blow that Yuffie uses. But the Hellfire is maxed out and on the main DPS character, so it's still going to deal a decent amount of damage, especially with the boss's fire resistance down debuff being at maximum potency. Other than that, there's really not a whole lot else going on in this part of the fight. The first phase is pretty straightforward. There's Mucus Jet again. Again, it's just a single target magic attack, nothing to worry about, doesn't hit that hard. And I'm saving Sledfang here because I want to be able to use it at the beginning of the next phase. Because just like in the non-EX version of the fight, the boss is going to open up with Trine. But we'll get to that when, it arrives. If you take long enough to finish the first phase here, the boss will go into Hellish Pounding again. Same deal as it was at the beginning of the fight. Just lower his physical attack and you're golden. He'll raise his physical attack by 4 tiers. So if you already have his physical attack debuffed, then he's not going to jump up to 3 tiers. He'll jump up to 3 tiers minus whatever level of debuffs you already have on him. So that's what you saw there. That's it. We're just going to heal up a little bit, try to make sure we're as close to full HP before the end of this phase as we possibly can be, and we're just going to kill him. Well, kill this phase, end this phase. You know what I meant. Alright, so phase 2 is going to start up, and the boss is going to have a Mako charge? Something like that? Yep, I got it, I win. Anyway, I threw a Fire Breach with Red 13 and used Yuffie's ability to get the boss's fire resistance down 3 tiers. Threw a Sledfang and used Frenzied Fang in order to get the boss's magic attack down debuff all the way to 3 tiers. And then here on Matt, I'm waiting until right at the end to hit him with one more fire ability to reduce Mako charge. If you're paying close attention, you notice that the boss's magic attack buff went from a buff to a debuff right at the end, and that's because I hit him with an attack just before Trine went off, and the ability ended up dealing not all that much damage at all. Later on in the fight, you're going to see what happens if you don't time things correctly and you allow the boss to have more of the gauge. You'll take more damage, spoiler alert, but you'll see the amount of damage that you take later. Other than that, I'm just healing up. I am just focusing on dealing damage as I see fit. Not really a whole lot going on during this portion of the fight. Hellish Charge is the same as in the last phase of the fight, or previous phase of the fight. Honestly, I was trying to interrupt his ability there, but I waited just a little bit too long. But it's okay. The fire resistance down debuff was just about to fall off anyway, so may as well get Hellfire off before it falls off. But same deal. Stream phase here, except if you let this one go off, he uses the AoE attack. He's still going to be hitting you during the stream phase, so may as well just get it over as quickly as you can. And from there, we're just gonna, again, buff ourselves up, debuff the boss, smack him around. There's really just not a whole lot going on in this fight once you understand that there are just a couple of big attacks that you had to pay attention to. Other than that, nothing really too crazy. Now he's using take aim here, he's picked a target, and he's going to use dual tail lash. I already mentioned this ability during a stream phase in phase 1, but this time you can't really avoid it. This one actually hits pretty hard, you need to respect this one. So that's how much damage it dealt, even with 3 tiers of physical attack down, so just make sure you're healed up for that. Debuff the boss's physical attack, or raise the target's physical defense if you need to. The boss is going to use the salient, titillating slime again, the AoE poison. Just make sure you're ready for that shortly after using dual tail lash. At least that's how it worked out in my run. I'm not sure if it's based on an HP gate or if it's just everything's on a timer going through a set rotation, but you just need to know that the AoE poison is something that can happen. Again, I recommend not using too many abilities on your healer just so they have some ATB to cleanse poison on your party. There's nothing to panic about at all. You can go back into the Mako charge if you haven't killed him yet, and this time you're going to see what happens when I don't reduce the gauge well enough. So you can see that the buff for his magic attack is going from blue to red, blue to red. This time I didn't hit him right before the ability went off, so it stayed at blue, which means it's a buff, and it hits that hard. Much, much, much harder than it did at the beginning of this phase. Still nothing all that crazy, but definitely something you'll want to take seriously. Just do it right instead of how I did it right there. If you leave him alive long enough, apparently he short circuits and decides, yeah, I just don't deserve to live anymore, and reduces his own defense. I have no idea why. I don't think they needed to do that in this fight. It's not like it was... I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a snob. I don't know. I tried to reduce my party's combat power. This is supposed to be endgame content. You know, one of the hardest fights, and honestly, I think it just kind of falls over. So sorry for the dreary tone. I just think they can do so much better, and I really wish they would. Maybe this isn't the last fight of the crossover, but who knows. But hey, we used level 1 Bloodbath 10 times, and now I can unlock Clear Tranquil. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you found the guide helpful, let me know in the comments, and I will catch you later.